Hi, and welcome back to another Stampin' On Friday episode. Today is just a real quick, simple card that I decided I would make using some of the stuff that I have sitting on my desk from a recent project I was just working on, which was the layout. And I have some October afternoon cardstock. I actually used this polka dot side, so these are the scraps that were left over. So I think I'm going to coordinate these together to do the front of my card. I also have a piece of a ticket die that I cut out from Paper Tray ink, just the ticket die, and I also have the just the ticket stamp set here that I used also on a layout that I was working on. So I thought I would do that, and of course I'm addicted to Jenny Bolin ink, so I'm going to use some brown sugar, malted milk, and stick candy, all of which I just used on my project. I also pulled out one of my foam applicators. I used that as well, and the only thing that wasn't on my desk was just a piece of satin ribbon, so I just pulled that off of the my ribbon storage, and then I already had cardstock on my desk, so this was just a piece of scrap that was also left over from my layout that I did, and this measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and then I just scored it at 4 1/4 to make a 4 1/4 inch card. So let's get started. The first thing I thought I would do is start off with my piece of scrap ticket die there. So I'm going to use this shape right here. That's the outline of the die, or the stamp rather. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this using the brown sugar, Jenny Bolin brown sugar ink, and center this right on my ticket. Just like that. And then one of the things I did with my layout was I made the ticket, I used the stick candy with, let's see, where is it? I'll put this back. I used the little lines that were also here, so I'm going to use the little dashed line, and I'm going to use the stick candy ink color, and I'll just line that up right in the center of my tag, or my ticket rather. Okay, let's peel that off, put that away. And for my sentiment, I think I'm going to go with something different instead of a birthday or anything like that. I think I'm going to do, "You were just the ticket." That's cute. I think so. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to stamp that again in the brown sugar ink. And I'm just going to center that right in the middle of my ticket. So you are just the ticket. And then I also am going to use, there are some cute little kind of circle shapes or oval shapes here, and there's a little one here that has some little hearts on it. So I'm going to use the malted milk and just stamp that right up here. You won't really be able to see it too well. It's kind of like a background. So I just added that onto there. So there's a close-up of it so you can see it a little bit better. And I'm just going to tear that off, and that's my stamped part for today. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start putting together our card here. So I have my card base. It's, like I said, 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm just going to pull out my paper trimmer here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my cardstock down, or my pattern paper down to, I think I'm going to do, let me start with 4 inches. I might go 3 3/4. Let me just see how that works. Yeah, I'm going to go 3 3/4. So I'll also cut this polka dot down to, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go 3 3/4. I'm going to go 4 inches. So, and like I said, I'm just using scraps that are on my desk. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer these together to do my card. So I'm just going to go ahead and, let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to take my ATG gun here, and I'm going to put some adhesive right on the top of my polka dot piece and then another on the back of the orange piece. And I'm going to use my card here to kind of help me line up and eyeball how I want this to go. So I could always trim it off at the bottom. Okay, so that'll be the front of my card, and that looks pretty good. Pretty good, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my ribbon and tie that around, and I haven't really used ribbon on a card in a while, just to make a simple knot. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this on. Like I said, I'm just doing a really simple card. Actually, before I tie this on, I'm going to ink up the edges using the malted milk. And then I'll also do that on my card base. I'm just going to go right around the edges. Really love the malted milk with the off-white cardstock. I like the look of it. So just going to put the lid back on that. I'm going to go ahead and do my knot on here before I put this down. And then I'll center that right on the front of my card. So let me just trim off the little tails here to my ribbon. And I like to trim mine at an angle. So that'll be the front of my card. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this down using my ATG gun. Put that right onto my card base. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use this and my ticket that I did, and I'm just going to go ahead and ink up the edges of this as well. And then I'm going to also just give it a little kind of wave to it. So I'm going to use some glue dots. I'll put one on each end. And then I also want to use a dimensional. So that's a 3D pop dot there. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this down right at the bottom. So just a really simple card for today. And there we go. Thanks for watching another episode. I'll see you next time.